This is a Delta Formation review. Delta Formation is one of the newest formations that covers combo attack damage. And with the release of Arthur, that is the new damage type that we are getting. So in today's video, we're going to be covering the base stats, the overall armament setup, the specialty inscriptions, and where it's going to fit in the very busy field meta between Arch, Wedge, Hollow Square, Echelon, and all the other formations that tend to don the commanders that run around in the field in Rise of Kingdoms. Without further ado, let's get started. First, let's talk base stats, and it's pretty straightforward. 10% more combo attack damage. So to put this into view here, Arthur is the most recent commander, the first commander released for combo damage, and it was two 1400 damage factor combo attacks. This means the 10% bonus makes it 1540 roughly combo attack damage. So that would be a 3080, so that's a 10% boost overall. Versus the 5% of Wedge's skill damage bonus or Arch's normal damage bonus. It is a little larger, but at the same time, Arch does benefit from having normal damage by basic attacks, attack and counterattack boosted as well. But overall, it's solid. It's on par, if not better, than most of the other ones. So, as a base stat, it's pretty good. For armament-specific stats, you're going to want to stack all damage because combo damage is all damage. And then defense and attack for whatever unit you're going. Right now, cavalry is the big combo. So, all damage, cavalry defense, cavalry attack is typically how you want to stack your formation armaments. And if you can get all four to be stacked that way, it'll probably be the most ideal. It'll get you around 8 to 10% damage and 10 to 15% defense and attack. Overall, pretty good. Next, let's get on to the specialty inscriptions. So first is Thrasher, 3.5% bonus to combo damage, pretty good. Whenever you launch a combo attack, it gains 1.5% bonus to combo damage for 10 seconds. Can stack up to 5 times for 7.5%. So this means at max you have 3.5% that goes all the way up to the maximum of 11% combo damage on this one. Pretty good, and it's for sustained fighting, so it's perfect for field, and excellent for rally, because you can guarantee that every 10 seconds you're getting a skill off. Next, you have 3.5% bonus to combo damage, great. And then combo attacks launched by the troops are 20% more likely to use the basic attack triggers. So that's something to keep in mind as well, that you have a lot of them have a 20% chance to recast. So the 50% chance on Arthur is now 70%. So that's something to keep in mind as well. The third one is 2% damage resistance. Pretty standard, nothing too crazy. I would have liked to have seen 5. Whenever the troop launches a combo attack, it takes 1.5% less damage, stacking up to 5. So that means at max you get 9.5% damage resistance. It's pretty good. And that can stack, again, good for field, terrific for rally, because you can get it stacked up to max and keep it there. The fourth skill is an 8% bonus to combo attack damage dealt. So, with all 4, you can have 8, 3.5, and 3.5 for 15% combo damage flat at all times. Then you can get an additional 7.5, so you can get up to 22.5% damage, combo damage, the 20% chance to get additional effects, and then 7.5% less damage, up to 9.5. So that gives you 22.5% combo damage, 9.5% damage reduced, and that extra chance to use bonuses. So that's with all 4 of them. Overall, for my recommendation, I recommend you get Steel Skin first. 9.5% damage reduction is huge. Then Thrasher, then Flurry, then Butterfly effect. However, you can also go with Steel Skin, Flurry, then Thrasher, if you want to have a more consistent with the 8% boost damage, especially if you're going to be coming in and out of combat very often. That would be my recommendation for order. For other inscriptions, really just stacking as much damage reduction and damage dealt as possible. Obviously, skill damage and normal damage boosts don't really work for combo commanders, so they're less useful. Next, we're on to meta fits. And Delta formation is in a good spot, honestly. All things considered, you're talking about scaling versus skill damage dealt of Wedge, where you can get additional skill damage of 5% up to 12, 15, up to 20, up to 8% there, and 10%. So at maximum, most ideal conditions for skill damage is 38%, but then they only get 5% static. So then you're talking about 43, and then the 10% combo damage plus 22 is 32, and that's on top of having a nearly 10% all damage reduction. So overall, it's not too far off of what Wedge is optimized for damage output, on top of the fact that you get the additional chances to use the passive effects based on normal attack triggers and any other options. So it is very much a good option. So it's something that you could definitely use, especially for combo damage commanders, because it's definitely better than going with a wedge formation on a delta formation commander, because it really fits that delta formation based on what we're seeing with Arthur fairly well. So it's a good setup. It's definitely going to be something that is used, but it's not like Hera is going to all of a sudden become a delta formation commander, or Nevsky is going to become a delta formation commander. But at the same time, it's not like a future combo damage commander is going to become a wedge or arch. So it's its own unit very well, and it actually seems to suit, based on what we're seeing with Arthur, what that new delta formation is supposed to be very well. But with that, we will wrap up our discussion on delta formation. While it is not as lengthy a discussion, it's because we don't really have as many delta formation commanders as of the recording of this video. So there's not as much in-depth, here's why it fits this commander, but it definitely fits what combo damage seems to be based on Arthur, who we currently have in the game, and what we're seeing proposed for future commanders. So let me know in the comments, do you have a preference in Delta, Wedge, or Arch? Let me know in the comments, or if you want to see me cover another formation or another topic entirely, let me know down in the comments, or join the Discord using the link in the description. And as always, good luck, fight well, and I will see you on the battlefield.